Hi everyone, I am Luyima Hakim. I'll be your host for Made in Uganda on the 16th of November at 7 p.m. East African time. Can't wait to share all the thoughts that I have. Please turn up in numbers. See you there.
To me, creativity is different. Okay, there's an assumption that everyone holds their cup of tea like this, and you hold yours like this. They will either call you creative or crazy. Like I said, we're like crabs in a barrel, and we're in this simulation where when one of us steps out of the simulation, guys are going to notice you're out of character. They're like, yo, stop. When we have pure thoughts, when we trust in our thoughts, our minds, our ideas become reality. If your thoughts are not pure, I think it's just a waste of time. What I want to tell guys is you don't need to be boring to make money. So
yeah,
we just need to dream.
Welcome to day 3 of the Made in Uganda youth series, where we're building mindsets so that we can build the country. Before we begin, I'd like us to just take a moment of silence for the lives that were lost today in the twin bombing in Kampala. And we'd also like to pray for peace in our country. So let's just take a short moment of silence. May their souls rest in peace. So I'd like to welcome you all to day 3 of our Made in Uganda series, and today our guest will be Luyima Hakim. Who is Luyima Hakim? How would you define yourself or describe yourself?
I look at it like this 20-year-old avatar in a video game. You know, I like to look at the world as this big simulation where there's like little people, there's guys who are 6 feet tall, then there's these guys who are throwing bombs at the central police station, and then there's these guys who are launching rockets into space, there's these guys who are building phones that can answer my calls, there's these guys who are making applications that can feed my dog when I'm at work. And like, I think it's very hard to dissociate the world from magic because it's magical stuff. It's crazy. And I know I should have had a better introduction in the sense that, you know, I should have said founder, this CEO, that, but I wanted to have a different kind of conversation because I feel like if I came in this image of CEO, founder, 20-year-old tech teenpreneur, blah, 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 I would be forced to have a conversation about financials, business plans, spreadsheets, projections, and financing and marketing. And I feel like people have had enough of that conversation. So today I'm here, Jason, and I'm naked. So I'm not going to shoot my camera, no, but I am naked in the sense that I'm here to talk about life. In this 1 hour, that's what I want to share today.
What has led you to have like this belief? What has led you to look at the world in this way?
We are work in progress. We are not complete because every day we're in a constant flux. Our personality is in a constant flux. So I would rather say that I am not Luyima Hakim, but I am Luyima Hakiming. You know, I'm in progress, and I'm Jason Sentomeroing, and it's this motion that like we love to say that life's a journey. You know, we love to say that it's a journey, but like a journey implies motion. It implies change. It implies so that's why I'm not comfortable saying what I am because I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't know. Why I started looking at the world like this is it's just recently I realized that when we were much younger, we sort of had a third eye. We had this eye that would show us like this other augmented reality of our own, where I would pick up a phone, my parents' phone, and I would be like, yo, this is a gun, and I'm shooting these monsters around me. They're going to find me. Like, you see a 5-year-old child, like, oh my God, no, man, mommy and daddy are coming, but like, you don't see anything happening before him. But he believes it's real. He is seeing a broom as a monster. He is seeing probably a phone as a gun. And I say, wow, that's crazy stuff. But then along the way, you realize many of us lose it. Many of us lose that third eye. We start to become realistic because society tells us be realistic. But my issue about being realistic is if you're being realistic, you're not going to think about anything outside what's already been done. And to me, I find that as in a world that's magical, in a world of magic, and you're thinking about trying to be realistic, you're going to always come up with ideas that have been done. Because when you're a child, what I realized with children, I've been very observant of them recently. Yeah, I come have conversations with them and ask them about their dreams and aspirations, so I can just try to imagine what it was like then. You know, you ask a guy, what do you want to become? He's like, I want to become a scientist. You know, I want to build cars that are flying to space. I want to develop science that will help me disappear. You know, and then that sounds so crazy, but there's something there. There's something with being a child, because children, what they do is they test reality, consistently test reality. They're like, but no, mommy, why is this plate black? Then he'll ask you, why is this round? Why is this like this? A child will ask you almost thousands of questions in a day because it's consistently testing reality. He hasn't been exposed to social conditioning. He doesn't know what's right. He doesn't know what's wrong. Yeah. And I believe there's beauty there. And it's a side of me that I've tried to regurgitate. I'm trying to bring that childish eye back. Look at the guys who run the world. The world belongs to dreamers. You know, Imagine I told you that I'm going to build a reusable rocket to Mars and it will come back and land in the same position. I think you'd be like, what's this guy saying, man? This guy is crazy. But look at the richest man in the world. That's what he does for a living. If I told you I'm going to start an online store that's going to sell every product in the world, you know, every product, I'm going to sell a surfing board and a book about surfing, and I'm going to sell a computer and a microchip. If I told you that, then you're going to come and say that this guy is crazy. The second richest man in the world has a store that sells everything. Crazy. So we just need to dream. To me, creativity is difference. Okay, there's an assumption that everyone holds their cup of tea like this, and you hold yours like this. They will either call you creative or crazy. That's why I believe the biggest lie we've been told is that there's some people who are creative and others who aren't. But then when we get into these systems, these social structures like schools, we got into workplaces, people start to say, learn, write this, read that, listen to this, don't do this. What happens there is that's where we start to lose our difference. Because the system never wanted us to stay with it. It's up to us to rediscover that difference. When you realize that difference, exercise it. If everyone's wearing a trouser on Monday, I wear a pair of shorts as long as it doesn't cost me my job.
Everyone has those creative thoughts. You get people there's a time where your mind wanders off and leaves reality and you become more of yourself. But now, how do you get the confidence to pursue those thoughts? Because society can be tough. Society can be tough, more so when you're trying to be creative in a new space. So how do you teach yourself to follow that path of creativity? You're thinking about this business idea, but probably you're not sure if it would work. You're looking to chase after something. How do you get out of your shell and how to be like, I'm going to do this? How do you build that momentum?
For creativity to be appreciated, you have to be confident to be creative. So it brings me to a point of creative confidence. So creative confidence is this ability of us to share our opinions, views, ideas to the rest of the world. That's creativity, trying to portray those ideas. But creative confidence comes in the sense that it's sort of like building rapport for your idea. Steve Jobs at the time, imagine how scared he should be to roll out something the world has never seen. But you know what? You find out like he was never scared because he had developed creative confidence. Steve Jobs used to wear the same pair of clothes almost his whole life, the same jeans and
black shirt.
Yeah, imagine I did that today, and then I did that the next day without, I know it's the same pair of clothes, but I'm still going to wear it. Like I said, we're like crabs in a barrel, and when this simulation, when one of us steps out of the simulation, guys are going to notice you're out of character. They're like, yo, stop. What are you doing? What do you think you're doing? You get? They're like, that is crazy. It's crazy. Stop. But when your idea gets enough acceptance, it becomes your reality. You know, it becomes other people's reality. I would easily say the people with the money, we live in Elon Musk's world. It's his world and we live in it. Because you can wake up and say, how much is it to solve world hunger? And we just send him the invoice and he's like, I'm going to sell Tesla stock and fix that. When we have pure thoughts, when we trust in our thoughts, our minds, our ideas become reality.
You know, we should follow our thoughts. You know, you get a thought, that thought comes into your mind, and you should always ask yourself, okay, how would the world look like if this thought became real? So if it's something that's going to change the world, you know, why not try and do it? And what's the worst thing that could happen? I mean, and we need this kind of thinking. We need this kind of thinking if we're going to lift this continent out of this mediocre age.
Yeah.
Over the years, what key philosophies have brought you to where you are today?
Okay, let me say my beliefs. My beliefs may be my principles that I always fall back to before I make any decision. Or probably the ruling principles over my life at the moment are, one is the inevitability of death. I know it's a topic we don't like to talk about, but the truth is when we enter into this world, right next to our birth certificate, we come with a death sentence. So I tend to believe that as we are living, we are dying, because as we are living, we are dying, because every day is just edging closer to your death. So I sort of look at life in the sense that, first of all, it's acceptance that your life can come to an end. And that gives me the fuel to utilize my day. I've realized the loophole, you know. Maize seeds produce maize. Bean seeds produce beans. Bean seeds can never produce maize. That's the same way mediocre thoughts, mediocre ideas will never produce grandiose outcomes. But many times, we always anchor on the outcome. You're like, I'm going to make a hit song. But you haven't convinced your mind. Your mind is the vehicle. Your mind is the architect of reality, because you haven't convinced your mind that it's possible. Jason, if you thought about starting a kiosk in your local area, you will never have a mall. Does that make sense? We are our own inhibitors. We are our own inhibitors, because trust me, you know that by the time we started Kreate, none of us even knew a software produced the work that we do now. But if your thoughts are pure, the world will listen. Kanye West's thoughts on what a shoe should look like were pure, and the world has listened. Yeezy has been the highest selling shoe for the past 3 years. How many people at the start of the year say that they are going to work on their bodies or go to the gym and stuff like that? New Year's resolution, it's always top of the list. You get? Always top of the list. They put gym and workout. They probably pay for the subscription 3 months ahead. But how many people actually get the results that they want? Only a small portion of them. Do you know why? It's because conditions are not what define us. The actions are not what define the actions are not what define our outcomes. Because if it was the action, paying for a membership would be enough to fix your body. No, it's not. If it was like that, every rich man would simply go to some shop called the gym, pay the gym and get his 6-pack. But no, It's not. We need to stop looking at it from the action is basically a crystallization of a well thought belief. If you second guess yourself, if your thoughts are not pure, I think it's just a waste of time. Because there are so many people who follow trends. They're like, yo, Forex is hot, Bitcoin is hot, crypto is hot, it's hot. Trust me, that guy is he's going to spend money in his crypto. He's going to spend money in Forex. But if he truly didn't believe in it and is purely going in for the money, is purely going in because it's trendy, it's not going to work. Money is made up of body, breath, and mind. But 3 of these components were made of body, breath, and mind. But 2 out of 3 of these components are borrowed. Because when I get out of my door, I might be run down by a bus. And my whole body will be paralyzed. Or I'll lose a leg. Or I'll lose 2 arms. Also, we've seen in the pandemic that our breath is also borrowed. Because why then did we pay millions and millions of shillings to get oxygen? So the only true thing that we own is our minds. Because when you're in a wheelchair and when you're on a podium, all of you have there's only one thing that you will always stay with, and that's your mind. But many times we neglect the mind. We focus on body, we focus on breath and being able to breathe, but we neglect the mind. We outsource. That's the one thing we outsource the most. We're like, yo guys, where should we go out today? You don't ask yourself where you're going out. You're always like, oh man, what does Jason think about me? You know, we always outsource our opinions of our opinion of ourselves to other people. So we let other people define us. And I feel like that's a very huge problem, because I would love to live a life where I don't think I'm ever out of character. Do you get, like,
yeah. When you're
many times, like,
yourself.
school convinces us that, you know, to be able to make money, to be able to make money, you have to do some boring job that your parents told you makes much money, and your uncle who went to like India did it, so he had a successful marriage, had 4 kids, 5 wives, and a beach house in Garuga or some shit like that. Like, we always feel like we need to get out of character in order to make a living. No, that's the biggest lie. That's the biggest lie, where we see guys like I'll say Kanye West, $9 billion valuation. Until recently was the richest man in the US, richest black man in the US. Every day we see Kanye West in the news for the wrong reasons. Or we see he's like cut his eyebrows. So what I want to tell guys is, you don't need to be boring to make money. If you are Gen Z and you're born between that age gap, we are demographically blessed. We are demographically blessed to be at this stage of our lives, at this particular point in the human race, the existence of a human race, for us to be 19, 20, 21, at a point where we're going to decide the paths of our lives or the course of our life that the rest of our life is going to take. We're at this point where we are so blessed to be this age. We are blessed. Imagine a world where you can post a picture of you can sell a pixelated picture of a monkey for $60 million. I think our parents must be jealous of us that we can just pick up our phones and start YouTube channels and
earn from them.
You can and make money. They must be so jealous, because that's why I'm saying we are demographically blessed. So we need to accept.
Another blessing is that if you want to learn how to be a graphics designer, you don't need to go to school and pay millions in fees. You just go to YouTube.
The decentralization of information is crazy. It has made us superhumans, because I don't think someone in 1998 could easily host this Made in Uganda program. from the comfort of his home, connecting people in different nations. You're in Kenya, I'm in Uganda, but they couldn't do that. That's why I say we're superhumans, but the world doesn't want us to know that. That's why they say, you know what? When you're done with your holidays, wasting time on social media, we're not wasting time on it. When you're done wasting time on social media, put your phone home and go to this school in a hill where you're not going to have a phone and you're just going to fight for books in the library because the internet doesn't have the answers. They are lying that we are a cursed generation. Look at the things you guys post. Look at, because they truly don't want to tell us. No one is going to tell you that you should be reading about cryptocurrencies. Nobody is going to tell you that you should be looking into non-fungible tokens. No one is going to tell you that you should be doing gaming. They're probably going to be like, you're wasting time.
So the next question I have for you, as we wrap up and prepare for questions from the audience, is what gaps do you see? In a summarized way, what gaps do you see in the world? What should we be looking at?
Okay. The gaps that I see, there's one obvious gap. The gap that we use every day and the gap that we're using now, and that's the internet. I was born in 2001. Probably if you're born around maybe 1995 to around the same age, we've just been born at the start of internet one. Especially down in Africa, we are the pioneers. Look at it like we just discovered gold and we're the only guys who know how to work anything with gold. Because when your mom wants to fix the HDMI, she's going to be like, Jason, bring the HDMI. I don't know, why is it blacking out? Press this button. No. They don't know anything about it. And so we have to realize that the internet is our strength over everyone else. We have come to show you that the world right now listens to what the Gen Zs say. Lamborghini advertises in Fortnite, a battle royale game. Louis Vuitton is advertising in Fortnite. Why would these big brands come and advertise in this game, in this video game where children waste time in it? Look at it like our tool. It's our advantage, the natural born advantage. We have had social media. Okay, personally, I've had social media since I was in P5. So we are born natural marketeers. We have created brands around ourselves through Instagram. You post yourself at the restaurant. You post yourself at fancy places because we are branding experts from just by virtue of being a part of this revolution. Your parent will never have a harder IG than you. Your dad will not build a caption that will raise attention. They don't make memes. Parents don't make memes. We make memes and they laugh at them because we are born witty. We know anyone who tries to convince you that what you learn from YouTube doesn't count, like, nah, don't take it serious. There's still a real world out there, like, just go focus and get your accounting degree and make 500K a month with free Wi-Fi and food. Like, nada. There's this guy on TikTok, he's like, Kabilem, he just does this. He just does this. And you want to go and dig as a Gen Z. You want to dig in the same world where this guy does this. You're mad. You're crazy. I think you lack belief, man. You lack belief. Why is Thames on a Drake album? Why is Love No Antiti the best song in the world, in the US? Why is Tubayo on BBC? Why is I don't know. The examples can go till why is Greta Thunberg?
Yeah.
Because the world is no longer Uganda, it's no longer Kenya, it's no longer South Africa, it's just one world. The internet globalization is reaching a certain peak in the sense that as long as you provide value to the world, you're going to be better than anyone who does not. How many people have made movies before Lukman Ali? Tons of our parents, the Tendo sisters, they've been doing all these soaps that house helps watch. But when a man comes up and says, you know what, I'm going to work on something that I want the world to consume, he's going to be miles ahead of you. I told you I always bring Tubayo up because I love Tubayo. They produce a service that is consumable by the world. And do you know what allows that to happen? The internet. The internet, the drive. You have Tubayo is bigger than Airbnb in Uganda. Imagine they woke you up and told you, we are going to beat Airbnb. You're probably going to get a heart attack. You're going to be like, nah, that's not me. Because if you don't believe it's possible, it's never going to work. But that's the kind of mindset I want us to have. I want us to grow.
That exponential mindset, that world view, build for the world.
Yeah, you'd rather be called crazy. But there's so many geniuses who have been called crazy before. So I think that's my cry every day. I keep telling you, I wish I could cry because then maybe people would take me serious. But because I feel like it's unfolding in front of us like this. But
let me focus in my small Uganda and focus how to achieve here.
Yeah. Let me start my money stand and it's like, anyway, maybe not everyone is meant to think like that. So I feel like that's the purpose of life. It's not the money, that uncomfortable money that requires you to dress like everyone else. It's freedom. Freedom for your thoughts or your personality to generate a living for you. I'll just end with this. Entrepreneurs, the richest people in the world, are the most empathetic people. Do you know why? Musk is like, why are we building a train from California, is it to San Francisco? Something like that. It's going to be the longest train, but it's still slower than driving a car. So why are we building it instead? So that bit of empathy is almost a state of dissatisfaction. He's like, this is BS. I'm going to break the simulation. Let's make tunnels, that vacuum tunnels and stuff like that, that cut the distance, the time by half, because he cares.
He cares enough to ask why, to challenge the status quo.
Jason, you care. You care. That's why you're like, I know there's many people who need to listen to Hakim on a Wednesday after they've bombed people at CPS. So I care that these 79 people should listen to him. So entrepreneurship, business, all this stuff, it's not about like what's booming. It's not about where the money is. It's an extension of yourself. I think that's the goal. That's why we're here, to work and get paid.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Hakim, for ranting for us. He told me earlier on, that you're going to cry. But I hope you've added value to people. I know it's about 2 minutes.
Yeah, I'm always willing to learn. I always like to say, I keep a tabula rasa, an empty slate. Like, when you come in with your biases, preconceptions, you will never learn because it's an ego investment. Your beliefs, all of that stuff is like an ego investment that I already know this,
Okay, so I'd like to thank you all for listening in to Hakim and for staying on. Hakim has told us to embrace our creative confidence, and he has talked about the mind as a creator and to always look out for what the internet may hold, to always look into the future. So tomorrow, we're going to have one of Hakim's favorite brands. We're going to have the CEO of Tubayo to talk about how he has made Tubayo what it is today. We'll meet you guys tomorrow. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you very much.